Now the stage reaches in the battle of Uhud, where that cry is called out, Mata Muhammad, Muhammad has been killed, Muhammad has died. Everyone begins to run back. Everyone begins to run back. Now, in the books of history, I read this myself, in Tariq al-Tabari, the uncle of Anas bin Malik, his name was also Anas. He comes to the second, and you know who I mean by the second. He comes to him, he says, why have you stopped fighting? Why have you run back? He said, what's the point of fighting now that Muhammad has been killed? When Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam was asked, why did you continue fighting? He said, what's the point of living now that Muhammad has been killed? He continues fighting and fighting and fighting until he reaches the Holy Prophet of Islam. Now when he reaches the Holy Prophet of Islam, you know what he does? He finds the Prophet to be alive. He lifts him up with his two hands and he says, Hada Muhammad, Hada Muhammad, Hada Muhammad. This is Muhammad, look, he's still alive. It makes me wonder this thing that Amir al-Mu'mineen did in the battle of Uhud by lifting the Holy Prophet and saying, Hada Muhammad. The favor was returned on the day of Ghadeer, when Amir al-Mu'mineen's hand was lifted on the day of Ghadeer, and he said, Man kuntu mawla fa hada aliyun mawla. He continues, Ya Ali, he continues fighting and fighting. And you know what I read myself in Tariq al-Tabari? In Tariq al-Tabari, the Sunni history book has mentioned very, very clearly, and it's beautiful how it mentions it. You think that you're reading it from a Shia book of history, but it's not the case. In Tariq al-Tabari it says that the Holy Prophet now is injured, he's on the ground. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam is fighting. You know what, the situation is such, the Holy Prophet says to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Ali, they're coming from this angle. Amir al-Mu'mineen comes from that angle, finishes with the enemy. Ya Ali, they're coming from here. He would go from this angle and finish the enemies. And you know what he says? Now at this particular point in time, this book of history says Jibreel descends down. When Jibreel descends down, the Holy Prophet, you know what he says? He says, Innahu minni wa ana minhu. He is from me and I am from him. To which Jibreel replies by saying, Wa ana minkuma, and I am from both of you. Amir al-Mu'mineen and the Holy Prophet fighting one by one. But everyone ran back. How did they face the Holy Prophet of Islam after the day of Uhud? But Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam stood there fiercely. You know, when he stands there, all of this envy and jealousy, you know where it begins from. Analyze history, and you can see where it begins from. And then Jibreel says, La fata illa Ali, wa la sayfa illa dhul fiqar. It requires an entire lecture to explain what the meaning of fata is. It's just loosely translated as youth. There is no youth like Ali, and there is no sword like Dhul Fiqar. You know why Dhul Fiqar is called Dhul Fiqar? Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was asked, why is Dhul Fiqar called Dhul Fiqar? Dhu Faqar, Faqar, sharing the same root as Faqr, to make someone poverty, deprived. He says when Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam would strike someone with Dhul Fiqar, he would deprive him of life in this world and deprive him of heaven in the hereafter. Because when Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam would strike someone with Dhul Fiqar, that person would not survive. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam was like this.